And everybody on YouTube. I'm very happy to be here, Eti. Shalom, shalom.
I'm very happy that you're here, and please feel free to ask a question. We're already on YouTube now, live. And if you have thoughts or questions or ideas that you would like to share, you're most welcome. Also, Kevin is here. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
How
Good
how do
morning,
you
friends.
do? How do you do today?
I'm doing well.
And how is the weather today?
It's rainy,
Oh, good to
a little
hear.
rainy,
Good,
cold and
good to
rainy.
good to hear.
It's like a fine mist.
Mhm. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
good to hear you guys.
Good to hear you, Kevin. Shalom, Rodrigo.
Shalom.
Good
Thank you.
to listen to you all.
Friends, do you have any questions or thoughts that you would like to share before we start to read or to look at the painting that is waiting for us in the whiteboard? Anything from your mind? Rodrigo?
All right, I just ready to follow you. Thank you.
So here I can see you already in the whiteboard. The topic is Jabbock crossing. Jabbock crossing. And here we have a painting. I'm moving it now from the 6th century. Something from Italy. Jacob crossing. And Jacob is wrestling with an angel. And this is an ancient painting. We can relate to it later. And there's a text. The question is, what would you like to do? Would you like first to speak freely about your book crossing, or you first would like to read the text? What would you like to do first?
I love the painting. For me, I would like to read. I think to take the context because I know that I have some. This text is very specific somehow in details. So it will be nice to read it, I think.
Yes, please. We have here from verse 4. This is one part of the text, and then from verse 15 and on. So let's start reading the English. Who would like to start reading? Do you see the text? Do you see the full text? I hope that also on YouTube. I'll move the text that it will be seen as well on YouTube. Yes, volunteers to read?
I'll read.
Good. Do you see the text
Right, so
clearly?
4 to 14.
Yes.
And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, the field of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, Thus ye say unto the Lord Esau, unto my lord Esau, Thus saith thy servant Jacob, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed until now. And I have oxen and asses and flocks and men servants and maid servants. And I have sent to tell my lord that I may find favor in thy sight. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, We came to thy brother Esau, and moreover, he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him. Then Jacob was greatly afraid and was distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and the herds and the camels into 2 camps. And he said, If Esau comes to the one camp and smite it, then the camp which is left shall escape. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, O Lord, who saidest unto me, Return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will do thee good. I am not worthy of all these mercies, and of all the truth which thou hast shown unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become 2 camps. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he come and smite me, the mother with the children. And thou saidst, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for a multitude. And he lodged there that night, and took of that which he had with him, and presented a present, and took which he had with him a present for Esau his brother.
Thank you. Can you please continue reading here? Yes.
200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milk camels and their colts, 49 and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 fowls. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by itself, and said unto his servant, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meeteth thee, and ask thee, saying, Whose art thou? And whereth goest thou? And whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, They are thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my Lord, even unto Esau, and, behold, he also is behind us. He commanded also the second, and the third, and all that followed the droves, saying, In this manner shall ye speak unto Esau, when ye find him, and you shall say, Moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goes before me, and afterward I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept me. So the present passed over before him, and he himself lodged that night in camp. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 handmaids and his 11 children, and passed over the ford of the Jabbock.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good morning, Venus here on YouTube. Good morning. What is the topic here? What is the plot? What is happening? And what is your bow crossing?
The returning of Jacob and his family to his brother Esau, returning to her land, to his land.
Yes, and when you look maybe onto this ancient painting or you read the text, is it a historical story or there is something higher behind this story? What is happening here? What is your bow crossing? Let's focus on the word. Yes, yes.
No, please continue. Please.
Yes, please.
No, because I had an experience that was interesting because Kevin was reading and was making a beautiful reading, and I could walk parallel in Hebrew. You know, I'm not so fluent in Hebrew, so since Kevin was reading, I could understand better the text in Hebrew, but it's quite different. You know, lot of things. And we can start from the first one that is on verse 4,
Yes.
if it is possible.
Yes, of course.
Because we have this Vaishlach Yaakov Malakim Lepanev, and it is interesting because just here we just have this Malachim that could be translated as angels or messengers or also kings, but
so let's write those options here, please. I would like to write because you say malachim could be three things at least. Yes? Angels or kings or angels, kings or
Messengers.
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 Yes. 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 Rodrigo, would you like to say something?
No, please go ahead, Eti. No.
Here's another thing, because malach, he sends malachim. Malach, one, has the value of 91. And when we look into the cycle of the year and we divided the year into 4 seasons, each season contains 91 days. This is another reading of the word malach, angel, or it's a season, or seasons, or time in general.
Eti,
Yes.
Jacob is 182. Is that right?
Excellent,
I'm not
excellent. This is it. This is it. I'm pointing at it. Yes, very good, very good. Jacob, very good, very good. How shall we write it here? That everybody...
This is impressive because I can remember that Ravi Zakluri speaks that when we read something in plural in the Bible, we can presume that is the number 2, right? Is that right? Like
Excellent.
when we, right?
Excellent.
So, and 2 times 91 is 2 times 91 is 182. That is the name of Jacob. So Malachim could be related with his own name.
Excellent.
That we know that is 7 times 26. But I know that is going to abstract and just some ideas.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent, because when we divide the 7 into 2, so we have 3.5. 3.5 is the measure of the holy ark. This is very, very deep. What you just said. Yes, it's true. Yes. So in a way, the angels or the messengers that he sent are not external, let's say, lobby men or representatives. It's something that comes from himself. It's an inner relation to his brother Esau. It's not something external. Is that reading clear to you? Rodrigo?
Yes, I believe yes, Eti.
Yes. And Kevin, do you understand this kind of reading? That the communication with his Esau is not something external via messengers, but it's something that comes from Jacob to Esau. Do you understand this kind of
Yeah,
reading?
in this sphere that we're discussing now, I do. Yes.
Yes, good. Because the more we go into this mathematic, more abstract, the more we go into Luria's, I would say, realms and the Zohar realms. The more abstract we process or access the text, the more we can find ourselves in those counties or regions of the Zohar and Luria's reading of the text. Very good. Now, Fernando, would you like to say something?
No, please continue it. I don't.
When we Thank you. When we read, if Kevin or Rodrigo, would you like to say something? Always welcome. When we read the name Jabbock crossing or Ma'avar Jabbock in Hebrew, what comes to your mind in general? When you think about Jabbock crossing, what comes to you? Even the most simple, it doesn't have to be.
A
Yes.
river.
Yes, a river. A river. So, Venus, I try to raise my voice for you. You think about river. Very good. What else do you think about a river? Let's write it. It's a river. Yes. River.
Considering that,
What else, Rodrigo?
considering that we already talked about this, I always remember that Hashem Elohim, because
Yes.
I learned in our classes that the value of the word Yabok is the same of Hashem Elohim.
Yes, very good. Hashem Elohim, the being
So
and the yes, the being and the
so
yes. Do you
exactly. So we can think that this river could represent the, how can I say, a frontier between the conceal and the reveal, or something like that.
good, good. Now let's look into those two words. I will write them here on the whiteboard, and look at the abbreviation. The first word of Ma'avar, crossing. The first letter and the first letter of Jabbock. What happens when we combine those two together?
Word me,
Me,
which means who.
which means
Made.
who?
Yes.
Yes, which related to which?
Yes.
Yes?
Bina.
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 Bina. So let's look into the tree of life, into the 10 spheres, and see what is happening in the tree. And let's look for Jabbock crossing in the tree. So we have here, yes, and then we have here. So, where is Ma'avar Jabbock? Where is Firat Bina?
Yes, it's here. Yes.
It's here. It's
Bina.
here.
Yes.
So, Bina or Ma'avar Jabbock, Jabbock crossing, me is here. Me is here in Bina. Like in the verse, who created these? Those. Mi bara ele, the concealed created and manifested. Mi bara ele. The seven, the manifested are ele, because they appear in space and time. And mi bina, created or delivered or gave birth to the manifested. So, Ma'avar Jabbock is Firat Bina, or who, or the hidden. Now, abstract question in this point: where is Jacob staying, and on the tree of life, and where the women, the maids, the children are staying?
Jacob frequently is associated to Tiferet in the middle of the tree of life.
One second. Listen to the question, because the question is related to this moment of reading. In the moment of the crossing, Jacob moves. Just try to think of them, not what we already learn or what is staying in our mind as a fixated tree, but what is happening now. Jacob is moving the women, the maids and the children, 11 children, to the crossing of the river, and he stays alone on the other side. So where are the women and children? We have now a split in this sketch. There are 3 spheres above and 7 below. Where is Jacob and where are the women and the children? Who would like to? Yes.
If my memory,
Yes.
my memory is not fake, I
It's
think
okay.
that he passes he said to everybody just pass it to the other side and he stand alone for.
Yes, he stands alone.
And after he has the meeting, right, with
Yes.
the man.
Yes,
So
excellent. Very good. So Jacob is here alone, but this is not alone geographically. He is with himself. Jacob is here. The women and the children are living in space and time. You remember the drawing of Gauguin? Once we were learning how the women
yes,
and children are going to the left part, so to speak. Left part.
yes, I remember.
There was a branch of a tree, the women and children, women and children are here, and even the cow. And Jacob is here with an angel. This is how Gauguin took or painted the picture. But here, when we look abstract, Jacob is here with the angel. With the Yod, we could say that the angel that he's, or the man that he's fighting is wisdom. He is here because Binah is split usually to 2 parts. Garda Binah, the upper 3, are here. This is the mind. And Zad de Binah, the lower 7s, Zad de Binah are here. So the women and children, he moves to space and time. Because the Jabbock is not a joke. Though if you will visit the country, you will find here a river called Jabbock. But it's not just about geographical river, it's a passage in the mind. Ma'avar Jabbock is a mindset. Is a mindset that lets us distinguish space and time and the manifested. Luzzatto says something very interesting in Ma'avar Jabbock. He says that the value of forgiveness, slicha, forgiveness or forgiving, is also 112, like Jabbock crossing, or like the value of Jabbock.
Beautiful. Wow.
So, yes, in time, people might have a grudge or something in time, but when we cross time and space, we can forgive. This is Jabbock crossing in us. Is it understood?
It
Yes,
is
I
amazing.
understood it.
Sometimes when we drowning in time, we have all kinds of opinion, we carry all kinds of grudges, who knows what. He did, she did, it happened, it did not happen, we have sorrow, we have regrets or so. But when we come to a boat crossing inside of ourselves, we can, it's like a helicopter. We can see from above. We can see with perspective. We can see the whole system. We can see that we are part of the system as well. Our behavior in time. Is that understood?
It is.
Yes.
And can we relate this Jabbock crossing with dying?
Yes, it is interesting because, yes, there is many books that were written on carrying this name, and the title of the book is referring to the moment of, in a way, passing away. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
And it is interesting because when Jacob uh, leave Barsheva with the blessing and are going to Lavan, and we have the story of the ladder. The Midrashim speaks that Eliphaz, I think that is the son of Esav, if
Yes.
it is right,
Yes.
tried to kill Jacob, right? Was trying to kill Jacob, and Jacob uh, negotiate with the son of Esav. He gives all that he have to the son of Esav, saying that a man without possession is like a dead man, you know. So you do not need to kill me, you know. Take everything that I have and leave. And it seems that the son of Esav accept that, right? So in that moment, he has the dream of the stairs just after this episode. And now he is coming back, and he also like leave behind everything that he have. He behind in front of him, in fact, because he sent before him everything that he have. You know, like even the maids, the wives, the sons, everything's go, and he stands alone again, you know. So it came to my mind this idea that a man without his belongings is like a dead man. Um, so for me, it seems that we have a process of dying, you know, of releasing everything that we have. That is not easy. We maybe rationally we tend to think that is easy. You know, I am ready to leave it all. But yes, some material things it is easy to leave behind, but and the other attachments, the sons and the wives, it seems that it is a new cycle of the same idea, you know, that Jacob needed to be alone and without any attachment, any.
It's interesting
I
what you
don't know
say.
if it makes sense.
Yes, because the women and the
But it
children.
seems to me that is.
It is true. It is true. The women and the children are his body. So while he is passing them the river, his body is staying in one side, so to speak, and he stays with his mind. First of all, this distinction is clear. Do we understand that the woman for a man is his body? Oh, it's the first time that you hear this idea.
Oh, it is clear.
So once he moves them to the other side, it's like his body is on one side and his mind is in the other. Because body also is connected to time and space. So he stays in a way with his thoughts. I just would like to give us an example from another direction. People say it's good to walk or to have some kind of a sport activity every day because once we inhale fresh air, our thoughts are changing and so on. So when a person does not take a walk regularly or make some kind of riding bicycle, something that changes the air inside of himself, he becomes like heavy and carry grudges, and he is not mobile, he cannot catch ideas well, and he's lagging behind, and he has all kinds of complaint. All of this comes, so to keep us also sharp in the mind. This is just an example. I just want to move to another topic just to focus on this, that our body will not stand in the middle. Our body is like a kettle. So we have to give the body what the body needs, that it will leave us in peace and not complain, and our mind can be free. We can understand that, this idea. A person with his body,
Yes.
this is
Yeah.
understood. So we are taking care of
Yes.
the body, cleaning, feeding, sport or whatever, aerobic or inhaling, whatever in nature, that we take care of the body, that it will have peace and it will not interrupt us or bug us, because if the body starts to bug us, we're not free in the mind. So this is what we do. We are maintaining good health for the sake of keep our mind free. This is, we understand this kind of thinking. We understand it? We do. So
Yes.
now think about, this is just example of a person with himself. Now let's go back to the story. He has a lot of load. He has 4 women, 2 wives, 2 maids, and 11 children. It's a load, not to mention all the, I now speak, so to speak, physically, but slowly I will go abstract. He has a lot of load. In a way, his frontal mind is occupied. So what does he do? He move the frontal mind, women, children, those appearing in time, also the herds, to one side. Also, okay, women and children are moving to the river. Also, he sent his brother an offering. This is also something that he sends ahead. It's not on his back anymore. Yes, women and children go to the other side, and the frontal mind does not have to calculate and guard anymore, and he's free to deal with his own mind. Do we understand that? People in our time, yes, Fernando?
No. It was just to follow it.
People rather to deal all the time. Usually people try to occupy themselves with all kinds of topic, just not to deal with what is happening in their mind. So they have many cars, and they have many apartments to rent, and many shops, God knows, all kinds of things that will occupy the frontal mind, the calculating mind, the Egyptian mind, that they will not have to deal with the upper mind, with the soul. Here what we see is completely different picture. Now questions.
Could we relate this higher minded, this soul that you are mentioning,
Yes,
the sentiment
yes,
and the midot, like what we feel, because I'm just thinking here that when we have so much to do, we do not know what we are feeling. It is very often, if you ask somebody what one feels, he simply don't know. Okay. Even if, or at the most high, I'm tired is the maximum of feeling. Tired
yes,
of doing
yes,
them.
yes, yes.
But what you feel, what you're experiencing, indeed,
Mhm.
I don't know if we can connect it with this higher, with this soul that you are mentioning.
Yes, yes. Here I move for a reason to see light and shadow on the screen. Yes, yes, yes. In a way, here, the 3 upper spheres. This is it. I would like to make a little drawing here. Yes, our session on Monday we were mentioning Alma Deit Cassia, the concealed world and the revealed world, regarding Rachel and Leah. 1 second. The upper three are Alma Deit Cassia, the concealed world. Concealed world. Concealed world. Or the realm of the soul. Alma, like in Spanish and Portuguese, is the soul. This is the concealed soul. While here we have Alma Deit Galia, the revealed soul. Because here we have sentiments, and also we have the Malchut. The 6 and the 1, those are the manifested or the Midot. So, what Jacob does, he leaves the world which is revealed. Women, children, herds, messengers. He leaves everything in different, let's say, ways. He leaves them. Release attachment, and he remains with this, with the concealed world here. This is it. It's like what we were discussing on Monday, the guard in the airport, Rodrigo, and the tourist or the sparks which are coming. Jacob is like the guard in the airport, and tourists are coming, sparks, thoughts. And now comes the great fight. The great fight in a person's life. Right? Yes, Fernando?
He receives a new name. Is the great fight.
Yes.
He receives a new name from this fight.
Yes. He gained this name in honest. Yes. It's a fair fight. Yes. Yeah. Questions or thoughts? Rodrigo, Kevin, Venus.
Venus brought a question at you.
Yes.
I will read it. Tell me, Eti, do you think that you think body when healing is using spirit?
The body cannot use. Cannot heal if the spirit is not. Yes, in Egypt, in ancient Egypt, the doctors used to prescribe the patients reading stories as a first remedy before giving them bitter herbs or making any operations on them. The first prescription was reading them daily stories that they will heal. Of course. Sometimes when the body is not well, the spirit does not want to sit in the body. So there is a separation. Our body is like a throne. It's like a holy throne. And we work daily to build a respected throne for the spirit and then for the soul to dwell in. But if we neglect the wellness, so the spirit start to stay far, and then people, because the spirit does not like to sit in an unworthy place or unholy, and people start get sick and have all kinds of problems because they don't prepare space for the spirit to dwell. I hope that I answered your question, Venus. Rodrigo, where are you? Kevin, questions, thoughts, any directions? Shelton is here as well. Good morning, Shelton.
I'm here actually listening carefully what all you are talking about, and I have a thought on my mind. I don't know another perspective
Yes,
regarding the
yes,
test, but when you talk about mar ber Jabbock,
yes,
the word crossing, passed over
yes,
the Jabbock,
yes.
well, the same as the word ever,
Excellent,
with
excellent.
the Hebrew, the rich, and also the, how can I say, the evening, and I believe that the word mixed or mixed is has the same root.
Yes.
This I, this bet, and this resh.
Mm-hmm.
I just thinking about these roots, uh, the I, the bet, and the resh that uh, can, as we can form another word, and I try to fit this. If you could, I don't know, talk about a little about ever.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what you could do with this.
Because thank you for the question. Because Mavar crossing is composed of 4 letters mem and ever, meaning to cross like Hebrew, ever, ivri. So time, mem is also mime or time. Time is a crossing or time is a bridge. Because what happens if we divide the ever, yes, yeah, or take the value of ever for itself, 272, and we take 2 double 72 and we have 144. So in a way, in your bow crossing or in the struggle with the angel or with the entity, Jacob could see himself as Adam. So the name that he received, Israel, brought him to the same spiritual height as Adam before falling from grace. Do we
But an
understand?
experience,
Yes?
what, if we imagine that this is an experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one passed, can we imagine the greatness of this experience for Jacob? I know that it is not an historical event, or it can be also historical, but if one passes through this experience and feel how it is to be Adam, you know, uh, must be as a life changing, you know, this, because you can feel the unity between everything. I was thinking about this. If one feels that he is like Adam, he will feel that the whole universe uh, is him.
Yes.
You know, if any one of us could feel this unity with the universe, I think that will be something like this.
Yes. How to say it? A transformation, transition. He moves from Jacob to be Adam before falling. Israel is Adam before falling. Human before he fell into time, into the stripe of time and development.
When he was in unity with the higher, with the Lord.
Yes, 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 yes.
Is maybe an experience when one feels that he is not separated
Yes.
from everything else.
Yes, it's true. Because even his former name Yaakov implies of the separation. Yaakov, meaning this is he's named after the heel of his brother. It's the lowest part of human body that touches the ground when we walk barefoot. So he's all the time, how do you say, struggling with the dust. He is named after the dust. The human heel, when we go barefoot, is touching the dust all the time, or the ashes, and this is his name. But after the struggle, he receives a new name, Israel, not a heel, the lower part of the body, but Rosh. Rosh is a head, and head we have one, not like two heels. The duality, he moves from duality to the one. Rosh.
And,
Yeah.
and it's interesting, Yeti, because Israel, we know, has the same value of the all the Sefirot, the first letter of all the Sefirot has the same value of Israel. So Jacob became the tree of life, right after the right, because Israel is the tree of life, right?
Yes, very good. He gets the name of the tree of life while his name Jacob in a way implies on the tree of knowledge, because we have two hills, and so he starts his life as a tree of knowledge, but he transcends to tree of life and to Adam. This is what happens in Jabbock crossing, or everybody in his life who has this experience of Jabbock crossing in himself.
And Eti,
Yes.
I know this, how can I say, permanent question from me, that how can we in our daily lives doing these crosses? I know that we are talking a lot about this, but how can we become Israel, or how can we be in contact with this part of us, because we know that all these characters living inside of us, and how could we do this personal crossing of the book River?
It is happening all the time. It's not a one-time thing. It's not that we do this once in a lifetime. It is happening all of the time. There are moments that a person is crossing to the other side and he feels unity and one, and he feels that this is amazing creation, how such a thing can happen. No human could plan such universe on paper and create the systems. So it's always coming and going. It's like Jacob dream of the ladder, rising the ladder, and it is always coming and going, because it is hard to maintain this notion. Immediately the forces of development, of time, of gravity, of what is happening is pulling us down to the body. Some people experience it from time to time.
But,
Yes.
sorry, no, because this moment in Genesis 32, how can I say, look like illumination, or change his name. So it's very deep, how can I say, conversion, very deep turnaround, let's say, or illumination moment. Um, I understood that you said it's, of course, all the time, is ongoing, and I understood the Jacob's ladder. But this moment, the fight, and change of his name, look like how can I say, a unique moment in his entire life. I don't know if if it is the same with us. I really try to understand. You could help me.
It is true what you're saying, because Yaakov is also named Bechira Avot, most eligible from all the three, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Bechir HaAvot. He's the most righteous of the three. 1 second, because he is in the middle. Abraham on the right, Isaac on the left, and he's the middle. This is why he's called Bechir Avot, the most eligible one. And and if Abraham, and you're right, Abraham gets only one letter, hey, Isaac remains, as he was born, he remains Isaac, but Jacob crosses through a complete transformation. He becomes Adam. You're right. He becomes Adam. In Abraham, Adam is starting the correction via Abraham, and then the correction continue through Isaac. But the full correction is happening with Jacob. Mathematic, yes.
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Mathematically, we can prove all of those things beautifully. Yes, Rodrigo, what would you like to say?
No, my question is if it's possible to each of us getting this fully transformation as Jacob, um, rectification, correction of Adam, because we have a lot of problems and mistakes and sins, let's say, and Jacob.
We don't have, by the way, we don't have sins. I would like to correct.
Okay,
Excuse me, we
but
don't
sometimes
have. Just Rodrigo, one thing. It is interesting in Catholicism and also a certain. There is no sin. Even Bala Sulam says there aren't any sins. There are mistakes that we can correct. This is it. Like we type a password and the number is wrong, digit is wrong, so we type again. This is it. There are no sins. Please, I know that this is how do you say, foreground education for children or so, but please, there are mistakes.
it's a very very deep belief that we bring in our hearts. But well, what I tried to say is how could we not conclude, but how can we finish the process of rectification? I don't know if it has a finish, but how can we did something as Jacob did? How can we do something that Jacob did? That's my question. How can we get at the same place? I don't know if
I think that those things are happening, and if we're sensitive enough to notice those moments, they're there. The moments are there, Rodrigo, all the time. Just to notice them. Yes, Fernando?
No, I'm sorry. I was listening it and thinking because it is not something utilitarian, and mechanical that if we do this and that, the result will be Israel, It is not something that we can buy or sell, right?
Of course.
It is a living experience, but the pattern is there. That is to leave behind the dogmas that we carry, the misconceptions, the things that people put in our mind, just
Yes.
like this idea of sin, and that is very difficult to overcome, even for me. Uh, but this idea of following the path of other, of what the institutions say that is right.
Yes.
And it is not easy at all. It is not easy at all to be, because he was alone. So, you know, to be alone is very difficult. And to be alone doesn't mean to be alone. To be alone, the friends, we need to talk with people, we need to understand what we are passing through. So it's not to be alone in a literal way, but to be alone, like to listen to what is your own path, maybe.
Yes.
But
Yes. To
I'm
listen.
just trying to understand everything.
Yes. Yes. To to be with the one in the many, not to let ourselves be swollen by crowds. Our authentic voice, to listen to our authentic voice that comes from there. It is not easy because with it always comes thoughts or upbringing or heritage when we pick during the way, institutions and so. But to be able to listen to this authentic voice of the soul, it's not easy because there's so much noise around, and we have to clean our attic all the time to make like the little prince takes care of his rose every day. We have to make sure that in our mind there's no bad weeds, how do you say, bad seeds which are growing like the little prince. We have to take care every day to see what is going there in our cooking pot in the head, in the attic, to clean, to refresh, to stream fresh ideas, optimism. If we see something dark, to see what is going there. It's a lot of cultivation to do. This is the struggle of your book. A lot of cultivation. By day, hour by the hour, to pay attention what we are going through. Because what is happening is not just a frontal noise that each and every one cross during the day. It's not just a noise, but also a lot of things are coming through this visual happening or contact with the world, but also there are certain focal points, or the universe is speaking to us through those moments, and also it continues through the night, through the dreams, or even if we move things in the house, like little a plate for a cat or plant which is coming home, all those things which are moving in our lives, they're not moving because a person move a plate from right to left. This is what we think. Usually we have this linear thinking. People say if they don't have awareness, if I don't move the plate is not moving. Okay. This is what most of the people are thinking, but the discussion in the Babylonian Talmud teaches us something very interesting. He says, I have seen two men meeting, and I heard a third voice. I have seen two men in a meeting, and I heard a third voice. What does it mean? This story from the Talmud. It is simple. When two people are speaking to each other, someone will tell us those are two friends, but a wise guy would tell us there's a higher source that connects the two to speak to each other. Otherwise, they could not speak to each other. In the same manner, a person cannot move a plate from left to right or from A to B if there's no higher command that comes from there. What I'm trying to say is what happens in our life. We tend to see this as the world of duality. A person writes something, a question, another one is commenting. So it's a dual, A and B. This is how we're educated, that this is reality. And the sages are telling us no. Everything happens in triangles. Cannot be something else. What we think as a conversation, even between the two, or any kind of communication between two people, it's not just between two people. There's at least another hidden source which is involved in this communication. Whatever we see as interaction between the two is never only between the two. Do we understand that?
Yes, it is quite something. This is a beautiful quote.
Thank you.
Most welcome.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Most welcome. Thank you, Venus.
We have.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Something.
I was reading what Venus and Gigi
Yes.
posted just to about the scene as the missing target. Venus wrote, right?
Yes.
Like to sin is to miss the target,
Yes.
is to make it wrong. You know, it is to.
We are
And
carrying.
Gigi,
Yes. And Gigi?
Gigi posed some questions. If I may
Yes.
read here, it is. I would love to understand more about the concept of there being no sins in the context of the Ten Commandments. What are those then? Isn't the opposite of a mitzvah a sin? And Gigi, God does seem to get angry in the text when we don't act certain ways. So isn't that what a sin is? And Venus answered, target is Emet, Emet is in love. So if you wish to comment it.
It is interesting because we are educated in different continents, but it still runs in the pipe. There's a sin. No, there aren't any sin. There are, in a way, mistakes that we can correct, and if we were wrong, we can correct our mistake. Nothing. God is not. We have to understand. God is here. Is not our friend, but God is not here to punish us. There is no punishment, there is mistake or errors. This is it. The whole universes are standing due to infinite love. It cannot happen that someone would like to punish us. This is childish thinking. God does seem to get angry in the text when we don't act. There is a misreading of the text. God does not get. No, there isn't such a thing. No. It is, we have to read exactly the verses, but there's no such a thing. Hitting the rock. This is not a sin. This is not a sin. No. They were not ready, and the hitting of the rock was because they were not ready to listen to the secrets of the Torah. This is the meaning of to water the people. It is very deep.
Allow me.
Yes.
It's Kevin. Allow me.
Yes.
To add. Is a good meditation for this concept is between a family and a child and a mother and a father. When your child makes a mistake from the rules of the house, they break the rule, but you still love them and you know that they will get it. They will understand in time. And so you discipline them. You discipline the ones you love. So this is a good meditation to contemplate.
Thank you. Everything is temporal. Children grow, they understand the limitation of the law of the house, and so this also happens. But we have to be ready for this moment.
Yeah, the servant of the house is not free, but and the servant is up to they are free.
Yes, there's one law, which is love. This is it. Otherwise nothing would have stand here. We would not have met each other. The universe is oxygen, systems, fishes, trees, so nothing would exist without
Amen.
love. So with this beautiful tone, I would like to thank all of you for participation in this conversation, and if you have questions, do ask them on Discord. We shall try to answer them. Thank you so much, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so
Shabbat
much,
Shalom.
Eti. Shabbat Shalom,
Thank you, friends.
Kevin, Shelton, thank you, Rodrigo, Gigi, Venus, and all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ed, and everybody. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom to everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.